Hello, Internet, and welcome to SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast. I'm your host, the Raging Cajun, Jason Kwasnicki, and I'm joined by the faithful co-host, Mark Sullivan.
How's it going?
And
he's
the Raging Cajun, and he's back. He's back after a long period of absence. He was one of the original founders of this podcast. He certainly kept us waiting, didn't he? Our editor-in-chief, Keith Mitchell.
What up, people? Hope you remember me. You probably don't, but that's okay, because my wife doesn't remember me either.
Oh, Jesus, dude. I forget my birthday sometimes. It's alright, we all forget things. Let's start this episode off with a bang. What have you been playing?
Ooh.
So, I think we've all been... Well, actually, I don't know what Keith's been playing. Because I know me and Mark have been playing No Man's Sky, but what have you been playing, Keith?
Am I allowed to even say it? I mean, this is a SonyCentric podcast.
Oh no.
What?
Haven't even been here for 3 minutes and he's already going to betray us. What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing more Dark Souls just because I want to play No Man's Sky, but I can't.
Why not? Oh, do you have the PC version?
Yeah.
Why
not
don't you
so well.
Should have bought it for that PS4.
Yeah,
I did.
3 days early.
I did.
Oh.
And then I sold it.
Oh, Keith.
I had the limited edition. And I was like, why did I buy this? Actually, it's a funny story. I had pre-ordered it on Amazon that I totally forgot about it. And then it was like, oh, hey, we shipped this. And I'm like, wait, what did you ship? Oh, I can't cancel this now.
Man.
If it's any consolation, I sold it for like $1.25, so I don't feel bad.
Jesus Christ.
You know how hard those things are to find now?
Yeah.
Yeah, the collector's editions.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't want this. But I do want to play it.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. And, I mean, there's a lot of controversy going on around it, and we're going to go into that in much farther depth in our... I don't want to call it like... I mean, we're going to call it a spoiler cast for No Man's Sky, because I think we're going to be talking not so much about the ending of the game, so much as just the game itself and its place in current pop culture, and like the phenomenon and the drama that have built around it. I don't know, Mark.
So it'll be No Man's spoiler cast.
Yeah, No Man's spoiler cast. And we've got a new man for the No Man's spoiler cast. Mark, you want to let the good folks in on a little bit of a teaser there?
Yeah, so assuming everything works out with schedules and stuff, we'll be having a guest on that show, a good friend of mine, Eric Martin, over at brutalgamer.com. So he should be on the show with us whenever the stars align for us to get that done.
The stars align.
Like
We're talking
Hercules.
biblical stuff here now. All right.
Oh, I thought that was Hercules. I don't know.
Whatever.
Stars align everything.
It's a phrase, it's an idiom. So we're going to cut our weekly segment short a little bit, simply because we want to save a lot of that good material for our special episode. We know you folks love the spoiler casts. Moving on.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about there too. So
yeah, there is. But Mark, I need you to shut up, because I've just been
Damn.
handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
What?
There's a new beta coming out.
A new beta
for firmware update 4.0.
Oh my god!
Now, do you have the list for that? I'm gonna get the list
I
up.
have the list.
All right, yeah, I got mine up too. All right, let's go. So basically, beta testers, people who signed up and were selected, should be getting download instructions for a new beta firmware 4.0 update.
By the time this episode is up, I just want to point out you probably have those instructions if you got.
Right. And it seems like some of the biggest features, the quick menu when you hold down the PS button, basically it's going to become a side menu that just kind of ledges out from the side of your screen rather than just takes over your screen. And
Right.
cool. It seems like in general the UI isn't going to be as obstructive of your view of what's going on in the game. Actually, like if you just want to check a message, like an invitation, you don't have to fucking leave your game.
It's gonna add more, because like the quick menu now, it just lets you turn off your controller or adjust, I don't know, volume of your controller. I don't know, stuff that you don't really need as much. It's now gonna the new quick menu is gonna allow you to do more things that you normally would have to go back to the home screen for, which it is really nice. Like accept party invites and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
and
what it seems like at least.
There's also a few other really cool things. They're finally introducing a folder system, which everybody has been asking for a while. You know, I've never really had a problem finding shit on my PlayStation.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and just add. I have a friend. Shout out to my buddy Neil. He buys like everything on the store, or like a bunch of little mini indie games, and he has like a 2 terabyte hard drive, so he installs everything. He has like 300 games installed on his hard drive. This update, this edition is for people like him.
Well, Neil, I'm glad that you have been served. But yeah, so that's I mean, it's nice regardless of whether or not you need it to have it. And another really nice thing, they've upped the amount of time you can record a clip for what is it, Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter.
So it's like what, from 10 seconds to 140, I think it is?
140 seconds. And that also goes along with the share menu is also getting a similar treatment as the quick menu. It's going to be a little more streamlined. It's going to be just a portion of the screen as opposed to the entire screen. So I mean, it's just nice. Everything's like, you know, it's gonna chug less. The loading times are probably gonna chug less because if you press that share button, it takes like a good 2 seconds until you get to that screen to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
It's kind of annoying.
Having tried to, I mean, that's my primary method of. I mean, that's really my only method of capturing game footage. When I do try to do that, and it's fucking even like a screenshot. If I just want a screenshot to put up with a review, it's like a pain in the ass because I try to line it up. You press the share button to take a picture, and you're sitting there like the moment's already passed, and it's like 2 seconds until it actually takes the picture. But yeah, overall, good update. We still can't also change our names.
Well, no, I'm done expecting that. Honestly, I'm over it.
Is that still a thing? People are still holding out.
Oh, people are still holding out for it. Frankly, Sony should do it. They should find a way. But you know, I'm over it.
I mean, honestly, if it means that Sony's networking system is solid, and they're not going to go around and mess with something and tinker, it's going to fuck shit up.
Right.
I'll keep my name. You know.
Yeah. No, I don't want to.
It's the lesser of two evils.
A couple other smaller things. Well, I don't know. I think this one's pretty big because this is like me and Delilah's home turf here.
Oh, offline trophies, yeah.
Offline trophies, but more importantly, you can view the contents of a hidden trophy.
Wait, what? I didn't read that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be able to view the contents of a hidden trophy. Like it's initially gonna show up hidden, but you can look and see what it actually is without, you know, having to go to PSN profiles and find out yourself.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
That's very, very nice.
Interessante.
User profiles are also getting a little bit of an update as far as how information is presented to you, and UI changes are happening that make things, I guess, look a little more aesthetically pleasing. But those are minor things, and you know, underneath what we already talked about. Also,
just to top it all off, if you were wondering what the secret code name of firmware update 4.0 is. No, it is not Trinity. It's Shingen.
Oh my god, no, it's Shingen. That's
Shingen. God damn it!
Shingen. What kind of Japanese is that?
You know what, Mark? Not everybody can speak Japanese, okay?
My goodness.
Go back to Kyoto, or wherever the fuck you came from.
Man, that's a little harsh there. What did I walk into?
Lovers quarrel.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a host co-host thing. It's a dynamic. It keeps the show interesting. We've nurtured it, we've built it, we've developed it over years.
True,
you know,
true.
Love doesn't always come just naturally like that. You got to give it time. You got to season it, fertilize it, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Christ, this has gone way. All right, let's end the news there.
Well, what do you guys? Well, real quick, I just want to know what do you rate this system software out of?
I have no idea. I gotta see it in action.
Okay. So far, I think I give it a dank out of 10.
Really? You set that whole thing up there?
I
You
had
wasted
to.
10 seconds of the podcast?
You know what?
You couldn't get an organic dank in there?
How many other times have I wasted time just for a bad joke? Come on.
But there were so many other opportunities to fix
Nah.
dank in there. We have a whole another 20 minutes where we got to talk about probably the biggest news of the week. Actually, we don't know because Gamescom is still going on, but this kind of hit early on.
Gamescom hasn't even really started yet.
Yeah.
Nope, not yet.
Starts this week. But, you know, how can you fit dank in when this news is so undank?
I don't know. It could be dank.
It's the opposite of dank. Go on. What is this news, Jason? I can't bring myself to say it.
Final Fantasy 15 is delayed.
Uh...
Now, this is technically only the second time it's delayed, right?
Oh, God. I don't even want to get into that.
Because it was originally delayed... No, actually, this might be the first time it was officially delayed.
So there's never been a concrete date on this game up until this March when they gave the release date of September 30th. I don't want to be quoted on that. I don't believe there was ever a concrete date put on Versus 13. They gave, like, you know, the whole blanket maybe holiday this year or whatever, but they never gave a date. So yeah. I guess we can go ahead and say, yeah, maybe this is the first time that it's officially been delayed off of a release date.
Yeah, so, you know, they got all that money together, they got that whole rigmarole with Greg Miller and Tim from over at, Tim Geddes from over at Kinda Funny, had him come out and announce this whole thing with the movie, which I'm still looking forward to, by the way, it's coming out soon. Same. And, you know, the anime and the mobile games. And now, like, in one, like, I don't want to say pathetic because I feel so bad for Tabata, but it's like, he gets on this video on YouTube and it's like, yeah, sorry, I mean, the game technically went gold earlier this week, and we had planned on, you know, having a day one patch out there to kind of polish up the game, fix up some of the issues. One of the issues that he's mentioned a lot in interviews is, like, frame rate in particular, but they really don't want to cut anything out. Fix it, so it's been a constant struggle.
Right.
So what they decided to do was they're taking the current build that technically went gold. That build will be on display at Gamescom, and there'll be like a half an hour video put out on YouTube, you know, showing all that off. And they will try to put everything that was going to go in that patch into the actual game that will ship, and try to cram even more in terms of polishing to, you know, make sure as much as can be is on disc, and that it is as polished as can be, which I have to respect, you know.
I agree, yeah.
Keith, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, I mean, especially coming off of, we were just talking about last week, the No Man's Sky Day 1 patch.
Yeah.
And, you know, I stick by what I said then, where I don't have a problem with the Day 1 patch, as long as, because, I mean, there are a lot of interesting articles that have been published over the past few weeks in light of No Man's Sky regarding how, you know, the development process, especially with consoles and when you're putting out games on physical media, they have to go gold, quote unquote, so they have to meet certification requirements, which means builds have to be put in months ahead of time. So sometimes, you know, you're not able to finish everything you want to, so you put it in a patch, you know, as the game's launching. Nobody knows the difference, and usually that works out, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, I won't open up that can of worms. You already know how I feel about that, so it's very situational.
So, you feel like you can't... we talked about this last week. I don't want to harp on this too long, but you can't expect a game to not have a day one patch today. And even after this, I still fully expect Final Fantasy 15 to have a day one patch. Probably not to the severity that the current day one patch would have been, which is great and fine. But like, I'm still expecting one because they, like I said, they do want to make this game, or like you said, they do want to make this game as polished as possible. They're still gonna find things to fix,
right? Exactly.
Even after this is incorporated on the disc, and that's great.
Yeah, because these guys are chomping at the bit. They have to be working like 23 hours a day right now.
Yeah, and especially because this game, like, they want this game to be great because it's been in development for 10 years.
It fucking has to be great.
Like, you know what? Do all the patches you need. Just make this game good.
Right. No, I hear you, dude. I mean, like we were saying before the show, or I was saying, I should say. This game needs to be good, like, for the sake of my soul. For the sake of, like, a jaded Final Fantasy fan, like, come on, man.
God, yeah.
Nintendo, like, you know, cut my left arm off. Don't cut my right arm off, okay? Final Fantasy.
What happened to your arm? Do you still have it? Like,
dude, it's a metaphor, man. My arm is a part of my soul.
Oh, you had me worried.
I was gonna say nuts. I was gonna say nut, but like I wanted to keep it somewhat PG. But I just said nut anyway. So
okay.
There we go. Checking that explicit box on iTunes.
Don't download if you're under 13. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, you know, on that theme of like this game has to be good. I was just thinking the other day. I was listening because Florence and the Machine put out their album.
Yeah.
On Spotify with the you know, the Stand By Me track they did during the presentation, and their other music, quote unquote, inspired by the game.
Yeah, they have 2 other original tracks, and you can buy that whole thing for $3 on iTunes. I still have yet to do it, but I'm absolutely going to.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've been listening to it like literally every time I put my headphones in. I listen to that Stand By Me track. I love Stand By Me, so like I already like the song, and I think it's a really cool remix or cover.
Yeah.
But I was thinking more and more about like how since it became 15, you know, the whole road trip thing, and how it's like so meta considering the path that the game has been on. When you think about it,
that is meta. That is really meta.
All the scenes, or not scenes, all the shots of them, like the 4 guys pushing the car with no gas, like on this highway in the middle of the desert. Like I never even realized like how meta that is.
Extremely got some deep workings there.
Anyway, that was just my musing about it. So, fortunately, at least we have some Kingsglaive coming up.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know you got like tickets to go see it, didn't you, Mark? At a theater.
No. So I've still been waiting for them to confirm all the theaters that it's going to be in. I have no idea. There's a movie theater right around the corner from where I live, and it's where I go to the PlayStation E3 experience every year now.
Yeah.
Like, so I would think that it would be playing there, but they're putting out the theaters that's going to have the movie in, like, pieces.
That's retarded.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a confirmation of whether or not I'll be able to see this movie in a theater, and I haven't gotten it yet. I'm kind of stressing out, because I'd really love to go see this movie in a movie theater.
So would
Let's see if Fandango has any information on it. I doubt it.
It's going to be a limited run show, though.
Yeah, if anything, next episode because the movie debuts this Friday.
Yep.
So next episode, I'll confirm or deny whether or not I was able to go see it in theaters.
And it's digital release, what, on the 30th, I think?
Yeah, but I mean, screw that. I want to see it in a theater, man.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel you. I do too. I probably won't. Not because I don't want to, but because I would have to go into Manhattan, and that's a whole rigmarole. And I don't
they're not showing. They're not, and plus they're just not telling. You know, man, that's the second or third time you used the word rigmarole this episode.
It's the only word I can think of. All right, I'll officially
really
change.
Poetic here.
I'll officially change. So it's a whole kerfuffle to go into Manhattan.
You can say rigmarole. I just wanted to point it out. Our vocabulary is like you know, really.
Diction would be the proper word to use.
Okay,
there.
Whatever. You know what?
You know what? You might be good at Japanese, but you're not so good at English. Okay.
Harsh.
So, kind of circling back around though. I don't know why I went on that Kingsglaive tangent there, but Final Fantasy 15. So let's go back a little bit to E3 where we saw that demo with what was it? It was Titan, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the reasons,
Titan.
Yeah, one of the reasons I think I was kind of okay, if not glad about this news that it's getting pushed back to November, is because of that demonstration at the Xbox conference.
It really wasn't great.
No, it was not great. It was fairly subpar, and it almost broke my heart.
Well, alright, so I want to go ahead and just put a little caveat in here about that. The guy that did that live demo on stage during Microsoft's conference, he did admit later on the Square Enix Presents live stream that he choked. Like, he had stage fright. And
Interesting.
He actually felt bad about it. But they did, like, Square Enix did put out a pre-recorded demo of that, and it looked a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he didn't spend, like, whoever was, playing in that, pre-recorded video wasn't spending the entire time dodging Titan's arm.
Right.
Or getting hit by Titan,
Yeah, I mean, and aside from there are obviously the gameplay issues that, or at least what look like gameplay issues, like it literally just looked like a little dude getting smashed by a big dude over and over again.
Right.
Like, but there have been instances of what looks like frame rate issues because obviously there's so much shit that's going on. So overall, I really think I am happy about this inside, even though, like, my instincts that just want to have it now are telling me that this sucks.
Well, I'm with you. I kind of got over it pretty fast solely because I realized two things. One, having it come out at the end of November when the semester's almost over is a little better than having it come out mid-semester when I should be, studying and doing schoolwork and stuff. And definitely. I also realized that that's an extra 2 months that I don't have to drop $300 because I'm getting that Ultimate Collector's Edition because I have a sickness.
Right.
So that's kind of nice to realize, that's an extra 2 months that I don't have to drop a shit ton of money.
I still have to pick up Destiny, but...
Oh god, you don't have to do that.
I do have to do it.
He loves his Destiny, man. Leave him alone.
It's fun. Hey, man. You got your fucking Final Fantasy record keeper.
Hey, man. I could talk about a poll that I just got, but I won't. You can check my Twitter for that.
I don't want to hear about any fucking poll you got.
I just said go to my Twitter and you can see it. Speaking of Destiny, by the way, the collection was just announced.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's gonna have all the Destiny stuff.
All the Destiny stuff.
Yeah, we don't really need to go further than that. It's gonna. That's all you need to know. It'll have all the Destiny.
I could go further than that, but it'd be like you going further about Final Fantasy record keeper.
Well, I already spared the audience that, Jason. God.
Keith. Anyway, let's get back to the main topic here. Keith, do you fucking care at all about Final Fantasy 15? I'm just curious.
Honestly, I'm still on the fence about it because I haven't really played a Japanese role-playing game in quite some time. The ones I've been playing have been Western role-playing games, so I actually am interested in it. It's just the fact that, hey, you took forever to bring this game out.
Right. People have literally died waiting for this game.
Yeah.
There was a guy who was diagnosed with cancer, and like his Make-A-Wish dream was to play whatever they had of Final Fantasy 15, and Square Enix denied him that and like sent him an apology because they didn't want anybody to like see the game in its current build.
That's a shame.
Which, I mean, I can understand, but then again, it's like, dude, really, like, it's weird.
The guy literally died waiting for him.
Yeah, I know, it's shitty. Like, I don't get why you wouldn't just do it. But anyway, to lighten the mood a little bit, because I just like totally took this podcast on another level.
Yeah, man, you just like tragedy-centric now.
I mean, to be fair, if this game, when it comes out, it has to be the ultimate Final Fantasy. For as long as it's taken, for all the fans who looked at the series and it's like, well, you gave us some really shitty games, but you promised to make it up with this one, and it's like, all right, now you're delaying it, but we understand why you're delaying it. But we all want to see a conclusion to this story. It's like this, this space opera. It's Star Wars. It's Final Fantasy Star Wars. When are we going to get a conclusion?
We already got that. That was Final Fantasy 12.
Boy.
No, but I mean, you are right in a sense, and I guess the reason I asked you is because your answer to like that question is kind of emblematic of or not emblematic. It's the reason why this game is so important and why it needs to be good, as I was saying earlier. Like, everybody, or anybody who listens to this show knows that Mark and I fucking love Final Fantasy.
Oh, man, and we're total dorks for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, we're fucking... We need a Final Fantasy show, man. We need Final Fantasy-centric.
Fantasy-centric.
Yeah. Anyway, but we're dorks, and we're gonna play it either way. We might not like it, we might like it. We'll find some things to like because we appreciate it. But for not even just global audiences, like any audience outside of Japan, like the past generation has pretty much watched the JRPG genre like shrink back from, its golden age into Japan. Like, there was a time when JRPGs sold better in America than they did in Japan, and now they've kind of shrunk back, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that that one franchise, well, really two franchises, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, but the main one that was really well known in the West fell from grace, like, really hard, like facepalm. So, like, they need to make a fucking statement with this game for the sake of a genre that's kind of failing internationally. Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of speaking in a lot of hyperbole there. It's not failing. It's just not making nearly as much money relative to the market.
It's a shell of its former self.
Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily just have to do with Final Fantasy. You got to consider that the market interest completely changed. The popularization of the first-person shooter arose. Those are the things that sell. Consumer interests just completely shifted away from that genre.
Oh no, I agree, and like those are factors certainly.
Yeah.
But I would argue that Final Fantasy became as popular as it was in America. Obviously, 7 was the one that really kind of set it off.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily because of even the gameplay itself. It was just the production values. Like, it was just so different from anything else. Nothing else was doing what it was doing on so many levels.
Believe it or not, Final Fantasy VII, was considered a very good-looking game once upon a time.
Yep.
It was, and I enjoyed it. I played the hell out of that game.
But today, kids will look at that game and be like, ew, this looks like shit.
Well, that's what happens when everybody's like all about the graphics and generation gap.
That's generation gap for you. But we don't need to be crabby old people.
Right. But I mean, just if Final Fantasy 15 can just come out and do shit that nobody, and by stuff that nobody else is doing, I don't mean necessarily like gameplay. Like, everybody's doing open world action RPG gameplay. That's like a dime a dozen nowadays. But like, visually, storytelling, if it can dazzle and wonder and like give us rich characters that we can care about, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the stuff that made it special back in the day. That's what I hope they're gonna deliver, at least. I don't know. Well, I'm really just getting on a soapbox here about how I really wish this game would be good.
You're being passionate about it, and this is. I don't want to say this is something that would make or break Square, because it definitely isn't. They've got enough properties now that they could totally destroy Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah,
still continue.
They started publishing, so they can self-sustain on that.
Yeah, but I think as a fan of the company and of a Square from back in the day to what Square is right now, they have to make sure that this game is the best that it can be. Bar none, it has to be. I mean, yeah, they're a publisher now, but majority of their fans came from their background, which was role-playing games. I mean, they've already forgot about the fighting games they made back in the day and the shooter-ups they made back in the day. Some of them were some of my favorites. But when you think Square Enix, you automatically think role-playing game. Always.
I mean, the company was literally saved by Final Fantasy. That's why the game is called Final Fantasy. That's where the title comes from. They were like failing in the 80s.
I don't think this will be a bad game. It might be a disappointment, but hey, that's just splitting hairs. Who knows right now? I don't have a crystal ball in front of me.
And all these Debbie Downers, I have confidence this game is kicking.
No, dude, like, I'm hoping. Like, no, I'm with you. I don't have extreme confidence. I have confidence in Tabata. I'll say that. I love how fucking honest that guy is. Like,
he's a very, very... honestly, since he became director of this game, shit's been getting done.
Exactly. And you can tell from the look on his face.
I love Nomura. I think he's great. He's been with that company. He's done so many revolutionary things. It's because of that man that Cloud is Cloud.
It's because of that man that Final Fantasy fucking sucks right now.
Okay, well that's debatable, but
the guy was so, like, he went and he did some character designs for Final Fantasy VII, and they looked like anime, and that intrigued people. So somehow he got the idea in his head that he could design a game and write a good story.
I mean, he's worked on Final Fantasies, I believe, since 6. He's been doing like character designs, and 7 he started getting more involved. Time progressed. He became the director of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and that's like,
And
this great success. I mean, it is technically a success story.
The
But...
reason I'm bringing Nomura up is because he seems to have a tendency where he just takes on too many projects at once.
Yes.
And
leaving aside, my personal opinion on him, you hit the nail on the head right there.
Right, and he was taking on all the entire Kingdom Hearts series he's directed on, and then he was directing Versus 13. And then, nothing was happening with that. We were getting Kingdom Hearts spin-offs that he was co-directing every year. Not to mention his other work and other games. It got to a point where he was just taking on too much, which is why I'm so happy Tabata took over, because now shit's actually getting done with this game. Like, we got to the point where we have a release date. We have a new release date now, but the game is going to come out.
Yes,
and I have the utmost respect for Hajime Tabata. He is very honest. He's getting shit done with that game. And as much as I like Nomura, I don't know that ever would have happened if he was still at the helm.
Right. And Sakaguchi is obviously always going to be my fave, my Final Fantasy fave. But Tabata, I'll put it this way: I picked up Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, obviously for the episode to Sky demo.
Actually, very, very funny you mentioned that. I just started playing that game this weekend.
I played it actually before I played the Disguise demo. I popped that in and tried it. And what I was gonna say was that I absolutely abhor the gameplay because it's typical handheld gameplay. The game is literally take Crisis Core's combat and it also intermix the Persona type high school stuff, and that's what Type 0 kind of is. It's built for the PSP. It's built for a handheld,
right?
And that's why I hate handheld, because I hate the way handheld design philosophy goes. I don't like games like that. But that being said, I really dug the world of Final Fantasy Type 0 and the story and how it's deceptively dark. These are high school kids who are forced into a war and they don't understand what any the actual consequences of what's going on around them. Which is one of the reasons I was kind of stoked that he was put on the project, because again, going back to the Nomura stuff, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but this is the dude that gave us Kingdom Hearts. A story within a story within a story within a story that
we do not need to go into how convoluted Kingdom Hearts is. Don't even get me started.
And I mean, like I was saying before, a Final Fantasy can have okay gameplay, but if it can give you the story and the characters,
right? And that's what it's always been. I feel more renowned for anyway.
Yeah, the presentation value, the production value.
Exactly.
Keith is just what the fuck are these guys?
No, because I was talking about
nerds.
This before. I was talking about that. I actually asked somebody about that game maybe a couple months ago, because it just got ported over, and I was like, "Has anybody played this?" And
I think you actually asked me about it.
It was you and somebody else, and somebody said I didn't hear good things about it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, never mind it."
It's a PSP game. That's the thing. Right.
If it also has a good story, good mechanics.
Alternatively, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this. So was Peace Walker, and Peace Walker HD is very good. I mean, totally different game. We're talking Metal Gear versus Final Fantasy, but Peace Walker was a PSP game, and the HD port was extreme.
I enjoyed it, but again, the same problem is that the missions in Peace Walker, they last 30 seconds.
Yeah, the design philosophy is definitely built for portable, but it still was a good port. And from what I played of Type 0 so far, yeah, it is a blatantly and blaringly a portable game. But I haven't really had a problem with it yet. I've been enjoying
that's a very
it.
Personal thing for me. I can't play games like that where it's 30-second bursts
that
are designed to be played on a bus.
I'm the same way, much the same way. I much rather would sit at home and play a game for hours rather than sit on a bus and play a game for 10 minutes.
I've yet to play a mobile game
unless it's Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
No game. No, I don't play games on my phone anymore. I don't take my Vita out the house, which the only reason I have it was to play certain dancing games. Certain
dancing games.
Well,
The way, no, just the way you said
Somebody's
that.
over there. Somebody's over there playing Hatsune Miku Project Eva.
I wanted to.
Is that I wonder if those games are PlayStation TV compatible. I should look into that.
Yeah, definitely do that because that's exactly what I did after I started playing Persona on the Vita. It's like, oh, it's PlayStation 4, huh?
Oh, I'm not talking about Persona 4. I'm talking about Hatsune Miku.
I think.
Gotta get my Vocaloid on, Keith.
I think it may. To be honest with you. We got an email about that not too long ago. It might.
Damn.
Well, we just had a pretty dang conversation about Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, there you go.
Folks at home, what do you think? Do you think 15 is that game, that important game, that will define the next generation of Square Enix? Do you think it will be good? Do you think things are looking optimistic? Do you think that Nomura has just flushed the entire series down the toilet? We want to know. We want a discussion. So please hit us up down there in that discussion section. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And as always, hit that subscribe button. Head over to our channel at www.youtube.com/user/theouterhavennet, where you can check out all of our other video content and podcasts. As always, I'm your host, Jason Kwasnicki. I was joined here today by the lovely co-host. I'm going to use Delilah's byline for you now, Mark.
Aw.
Mark Sullivan.
I'm so honored.
And of course, our editor-in-chief. He always keeps us waiting, Keith Mitchell.
I like keeping everybody waiting.
Man,
But
you
thanks for having
really always do keep us waiting. My God, Keith.
me. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I'm just lazy. Freaking procrastinator. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me.
Peace out, Internet.
Later.
Keith,
Yes, sir.
you gotta say goodbye to the good folks.
Taking
Oh,
my
man.
job.
Oh. Can I do my Soldier 76 impersonation?
Oh, please
Sure.
do.
Get the hell off my point.